Listen, if you're worried that you're not improving fast enough at Fortnite, this video will definitely help you. I'm a Fortnite coach with 6 years of experience, and today I'm going over 20 tips that helped me improve faster at Fortnite than any of the hundreds of videos that I watched. Tip number 1, do not do edit courses. They are just a waste of time. Edit courses don't help you improve because they don't involve building at the same time. In real fights, you're going to be building and editing together, not just editing pre-built structures. So edit courses may make you feel like you can edit fast when you actually can't do it under pressure. The only thing that they're good for is learning edit timing, which is the time it takes between pressing the edit key and confirming the edit. So once you understand the timing, they have nothing else to teach you. Fight real players in 1v1s or box fights, where not only are you going to be building and editing at the same time, you're going to be editing in ways to take out your opponent. Tip number 2, learning flashy moves won't help you improve. Flashy moves look good, but they don't win fights. Quad edits and crazy builds take too long and your opponent will just wait to shoot at you. Most flashy moves are very predictable, and the best players use simple moves that work every time. If a move doesn't help you hit your opponent or avoid damage, don't learn it yet. Just focus on the moves that actually win fights. Tip number 3, avoid building an open edit habit. Having a habit to open edit in front of opponents is a common mistake I see a lot of players that I coach make. Because they've probably been practicing against worse players their entire life, they've been allowed to make that mistake and get away with it. So now as they're getting into the higher leagues, they're not going to be able to get away with that mistake anymore. So they need to remove the habit and look for a peak instead. Don't play confident. Build a reason to be confident. If you haven't trained enough, playing aggressive will get you killed. Practice everything 1,000 times. Spend hours and hours practicing. And then you have the right to feel confident because you know you've trained enough to the point where you have confidence that you are definitely better than your opponent. Tip number 5, learn the important moves. The most important moves are 90s, sprint 90s, double edits, triple edits, edit downs, high walls, full boxes, and pre-piece control. These are moves that you probably use in every single fight, in every single game. So if you can't do these without thinking, nothing else will matter. Practice these moves until they're automatic and do them without thinking. And then once you can do them perfectly every time, everything else gets easier. Use the right materials at the right time. Wood is the weakest material and it's definitely the one you should use when you need quick cover and also when you're using just temporary builds. So if you're rotating and you need cover to block a shot, use wood because you're not going to be staying in that position for very long. It's just you trying to rotate away from your opponent's shots. Brick is what you should use for most fights in early and mid game, and metal should only be used in emergencies or late game. Try not to waste that material. Tip number 7, focus mostly on box fighting to start. Most fights these days become box fights anyway, and box fighting teaches you piece control, edit timing, wall pressure, when to shoot, what peaks to do, and so much more. So it's perfect for beginners. It's also one of the most realistic practices you get, apart from realistics. These days, everyone boxes up eventually, and that's where the fight is won or lost. Master box fights first, and then you can move on. Tip number 8, learn how angles in Fortnite work. Angles decide who takes damage and who doesn't. Fortnite has a third-person camera, which means you can see around corners without showing yourself, but only if you know where to stand. The best players know exactly where to position so they can see their opponent but stay protected. Pay attention to your positioning and learn the angles. Tip number 9, use edit and release to make your life easier. Edit and release makes editing faster. It removes a whole step in your editing. A lot of top players use it these days because, well, Peterbot uses it, and also because it's just a lot easier and gives you a lot more speed. However, there are some crosshair placement advantages to edit and release off, and there is also some thinking time advantages to edit and release off. The game these days is so fast paced, I have to recommend edit and release on. By the way, there's an editing power up in the description. It's literally $2.99, but we'll give you an exclusive video on how to power up your editing speed to a whole nother level. Anyway, let's continue. Tip number 10, warm-ups are extremely important. Get one and don't skip it. Don't jump straight into games. Your aim will be off, your edit's slow, and you'll make bad decisions. A warm-up gets your hands ready and your brain focused. 10 to 15 minutes is enough. Practice your edits, do some aim training, and run through a few scenarios. If you keep losing early fights, it's probably because you didn't warm up. Tip number 11, go for counter damage. These are more advanced tips now, and counter damage is the first one. Counter damage is the best way to quickly shift the fight back into your favor after taking a large amount of damage. You can either use pre-fires or edit baits when trying to counter damage, but you have to make sure you make space, because if you mess up and you don't have a box to fall back into, then you're just going to lose the fight. Sometimes you really can't go for counter damage, especially if the person is playing very passive. The best time to use it is when someone's over aggressing. To get really good at counter damage, watch pro players and see how they use it and then apply it to your own game. Tip number 12, use baits. There are two main types of baits, pickaxe baits and edit baits. A pickaxe bait is where you drop in front of someone's box. Swing your pickaxe as if you're going to hit the wall, but midway through the swing, pull out your shotgun so that when the person edits, you can have that shotgun ready to shoot at them. An edit bait is where you are one wall away from someone with the wall in your possession, and then you edit the wall, reset it immediately so the person shoots, which this then breaks the wall because the wall has just been reset. Then you can either hold the wall, edit it again and then shoot them, or you can just shotgun them back. However, there's one more type of fake that isn't spoken about very much, and this is what I'm going to call the regular bait. This is where you pretend to edit out of a box like you're going left, but then quickly turn back, reset everything and do a peek on the opponent. This will make them look one way, not expecting you to go back the other way, and then do a peek so you're still behind the wall. Tip number 13, track opponents through builds. Tracking opponents through builds means keeping your crosshair focused on your enemy's exact position, even when they're behind built structures. When you keep your crosshair focused on another player, you can see how easy it is to predict what they're going to do next. This ties in with having good crosshair placement and making sure that your crosshair is head level at all times. Tip number 14, learn blueprint editing. Blueprint editing is where you pull out your blueprint and edit a wall from a further distance, as opposed to editing with a pickaxe or shotgun out and then not being able to edit because you're too far away. With blueprint editing, it's so much easier to make peaks while box fighting, because you can edit a wall while you're behind the wall. So make sure to implement this, especially in box fights. Tip number 15, practice new moves. If you struggle with certain types of moves and lose fights because of it, spend 10 to 20 minutes practicing that move each day. And then once you feel like you've mastered it, move on to a new move, and then repeat this over and over and over until you learn a bunch of moves. If you don't know what moves to practice, look at what moves pros do. Tip number 16, practice in 120% speed. Practicing in 120% speed pushes your reaction time, mechanics, and focus past your normal limit. When you return to that regular speed, the game feels smoother, slower, and easier. It sharpens your crosshair placement and builds muscle memory faster than regular speed. It also exposes small mistakes and forces you to fix them. Start at a slow speed and then slowly add up the speed until you can build without any problems, but don't jump straight to 150% because that is way too fast. Work on your weaknesses, but play with your strength. You need to address your weaknesses because they become holes in your gameplay. If you don't improve them, they hold you back. To address your weaknesses, identify your weak points like aim, awareness, or panicky builds. Dedicate 50% of your practice time to working on these areas. But in real games, you want to try and force your strengths in fights. If you're good at box fighting, try and force a box fight. If you have really good aim, take more mid-range fights. Once you improve your weaknesses, they become your strength. Tip number 18, play against better players. When you play against better players than you, you're constantly challenged. You have to adapt, think faster, and play smarter. But when you're always the best in the lobby, you're not improving, you're just maintaining or even getting worse. Every time a better player outplays you, it's a free lesson. You can see what you did wrong and how and what did they do to win that fight. That feeling of nervousness when you play against a better player is exactly what you need to improve. And the best way to find people that are better than you is on Discord servers, and I have one myself that will be down in the description below. Tip number 19, use ranked cups as W key practice. Don't worry about trying to win the cup, it doesn't really matter. It's not a real tournament. Instead, W key everyone you see, because this is basically free practice for a solo cash cup. It's much better than just playing regular ranked because people are actually trying, but make sure to use it to your advantage and don't skip them. The final tip, tip number 20, watch pro players replays. This is a common thing that you'll be told, but this VOD reviewing is very, very important. Watching replays shows when, how, and why pros do stuff, and you see their real-time decision making, how they rotate, how they stay ahead of zone, when and why they take fight, and you pick up small tricks that you would never think of. If you don't know what you're looking for, watch breakdowns made by pros or get your content reviewed by a coach like me, and I'll also leave the description to that down below as well.